So you're selling ammo here at the gun show, and sounds like your business has been doing great. And why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's very politically motivated, obviously. Pandemic has a lot to do with it, but I think obviously it's politics.
Now, recently, President Biden has announced some new gun legislation. What do you think about that, and how is it impacting your business?
Well, at this point, it's not necessarily impacting my business, but for the fact it will impact gun shows as a whole, which will then impact my business because that's where I sell ammo only. We don't have a storefront. So it is definitely in the cards for it to be a problem.
Now, one thing that has been talked about for years is the gun show loophole, where you don't have to register a gun at a gun show if you buy it from a gun show. Do you think that should be abolished, or do you think it should stay as is?
I think it should stay as is. The gun show loophole is a misnomer in that it's not all guns. There are many FFL dealers here, and they have to do paperwork. The gentleman across from me, for instance, has doing paperwork for his gun sales. There are people who will private citizens who will bring guns in to the gun show, and they will sell to other citizens, but they are supposed to check the driver's license and be sure they're a citizen of the state that they're selling the gun in. So it's really a very minor number of people who are, given the gun shows, I guess, a bad name for some people, but it's really not much of a loophole.
Now, one thing that Democrats and President Biden want to do is limit the capacity of a magazine. What do you think about that?
I think that you can get 10-round magazines and have the same capacity as you could have with one bigger one. And I guarantee you there are a lot of people that are very proficient in loading and unloading those magazines very quickly. I think it's just something that I think he wants to make people feel good about him doing something, and it really would do nothing whatsoever to hinder anybody who wants to go out and do a mass shooting. So.
Now, a term we've heard a lot over recent years is assault weapon. How would you define an assault weapon?
An assault weapon is what the United States military uses and other countries. It is not what is sold. These are semi-automatic weapons. They are not fully automated weapons. You have to have a special license. You have to go through a lot of paperwork and jump through a lot of loopholes to get that license if you want to have a fully automatic weapon. It's not inexpensive. Anyway, these guns are not assault weapons.
Now, do you think it'll get to a point where handguns will be under fire? I mean, think about it. The military uses handguns too. So how do you think it will go? Do you think it will go too far?
I think we have that with this particular government in power. We have that capacity for everything to go too far with guns and ammunition. Very much so.
Well, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think the Second Amendment is certainly under attack. The Second Amendment was intended for citizens to be able to protect themselves, not from other citizens necessarily, but to protect themselves from their government. So they need to have at least enough firepower to be able to protect us from our government coming in and taking our rights away from us. And that's a very important thing to remember. We need to stand strong on the Second Amendment so we can remain free in this country.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.